Is there finally light at the end of the tunnel?
The end of the tunnel.
Folks, if you know, you know. My information is right here. I'm Anant Deoras, AD, a local EXP Realtor. And are Chicago home prices dropping? And so the answer is kind of yes and no. As always, I like to talk about that and relate this to groups. And I work with first-time buyers, move-up buyers, and downsizers. So let's go through each of these groups. For the first-time buyers, there is some relief for you. And when I said yes or no, pricing, first of all, pro tip, do not look at median pricing in all the national publications, because a lot of times that median pricing originated months before. So it's not even relevant to the current month. We're looking at data from September. We're now in October. And so you want to look at the factors that influence. And one of the factors that influences pricing is supply. Supply, that is months supply of homes for sale, that is a leading indicator versus the lagging indicator is that median pricing. Because as I mentioned, that is something that may have originated several months before. And so that's what is reported. And of course, also what a lot of the media, and I'm saying both sides of the aisle, what they'll report is they'll use the percentages to try to force, of course, for clickbait. And the percentages always look worse than the actual numbers. So if you look here, first from a year to year, it looks like, okay, inventory is still low. And of course, just basic economics, when you have low supply coupled with demand, then prices tend to still be high. Of course, year to year, we need to look at month to month. Year to year is still going to be low. So if you look at the spread, the year to year, as you saw, there was 27%. That percentage is a lot lower. And actually look at the month supply, 2.7 year to year versus 3.1. And that basically means, folks, is for every 3 active listings, there's 1 sale. So obviously, if that number is lower in a balanced market, we're at 5 or 6 months supply, and we've had seller. It's been seller centric, so that's been 1, 2, and we're still technically in a seller market, but above 6 is that buyer market. So that number is actually trending up. So that is good news for those first-time buyers. And with that inventory going up, that of course will cause that pricing to go down, and as I mentioned, will help first-time buyers. But it's really interesting. It's not the extremes of what's happening in the Phoenix or Vegas or California markets. Actually, it's normalizing. So we also got to factor in seasonality, right? So, non-pandemic years, always, as we enter fall into winter, activity does subside. There's still deals to be made, but I've always told my buyers, first time in particular, is if you can, look in the November and Decembers, because you can always get quote-unquote deals. And sellers being, of course, thinking that their mindset still is thinking about the summertime and all that crazy demand, but that demand has dropped off because the interest rates, and I know first-time buyers, you know that. And so there can be deals to be had. And now, oh, by the way, couple this with market times. You can see from this graphic, market times are escalating up because those sellers are unrealistic. They're not quickly listing to their listing agent and reducing the prices, and therefore the market time is increasing. So let's talk about move-up buyers. My move-up buyers. So one of the reasons, folks, why we haven't seen a more escalation of a really increased, more inventory on the market, just in general, has been the move-up buyers not being able to find something, right? So traditionally, let's take the interest rates kind of out of it, but just traditionally, there hasn't been a lot of inventory. And so, of course, if the family, for example, can't find their forever home, they're not going to move, right? And so what happens is there's just kind of just like a stalemate. And so that's what you can see as I show that graph. I'm going to print it up again with inventory is kind of just stabilizing. It's just flat. It's flat, really nowhere to go. And now you bring the interest rates back in the mix. I mean, some of these move-up buyers are on a 3.75 interest rate, 30-year fixed. Why would they want to go almost pay double interest rate, which is out there in the market? And so that's kind of been the challenge. So for you, with those pricing, with the home pricing going down, you may actually right now kind of just sit on the sidelines till March and April, and those interest rates come down and some more inventory comes on there. But you're kind of causing a lot, a lot of that inventory crunch, and that's causing those not causing those home prices to go down. So the irony here is, for the move up buyers, you're in a way causing a lot of that inventory crunch. And again, I totally get it with where the interest rates are at, but you can probably still, you have a lot of equity here in your home, and so I strongly advise is reach out to me. You can comment below, put a comment in the YouTube, or of course I've got my contact information, and let me do a competitive analysis of your particular area, because Chicago is local, and you may still have demand there, and you can get a really good price for your existing home, and then of course you have those proceeds and you can apply it as interest rates slowly go back down month over month into 2023. But sure, that's the irony. You guys are causing a lot of that inventory crunch, and with that inventory not rising, those home prices are not going down. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. But let's go ahead and talk about my downsizers, the final group here in this video. Are Chicago home prices dropping? Okay, my downsizers, the active adult. It's very interesting, this kind of cohort here of downsizers and my clients that I work with downsizers. A lot of the active adult communities they're going to go to, particularly I'm talking, speaking of the Chicago land, and even in Florida and Texas, there's always so much demand because there's a lot of people that are reaching that age. A lot of them have cash. So it's a really kind of a market within a market. And a lot of times interest rates don't really affect downsizers because many of them are paying cash. So what I would say is my recommendation for you is to get the search. I've got a video here if you want to go right up here, and I'll post it in the description. I kind of tell you how to sell your home after retiring and finding your downsized home. Check out that video to watch it. So downstairs is kind of a market in a market that really not impacted by interest rates. It's more of those first time buyers and move up buyers. So the answer here, are home prices dropping? It's still too early to tell. We're shielded. Chicago is an outlier from all other extremes. People are getting affected in California, Phoenix, and Vegas. So now is the time. What I need you to do is, besides watching this video coming up, reach out to me. If you're motivated and you're a buyer and seller, I'm here to help. That's who I want to help. That is basically my job, is to help you realize your goals of home ownership if you're motivated. I'm Anant Deoras, AD. Watch the videos coming up. If you have any questions at all, reach out. Take care.